Good afternoon and good evening, right? For people who are watching us from far afield. Again, it's a pleasure for me to be meeting you today. And we're going to be talking to you about that solar panel that I have on my house, right? That's the roof of my house. I know. I'm joking. Yeah, but that's a light joke, right? But I want to talk to you about solar product, solar equipment. Because one thing that we know about solar is that most of the time, what is actually prohibitive is the upfront cost, right? And some time ago, so there's a fantastic solution that came around, allowing people that live in places like what I'm showing behind you to own a solar system. And that's the PAYGO model or pay as you go model. And I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, would have heard of it, and you may have an opinion on that. And basically, what I want to do is actually taking a step back 8 years, 10 years down the line. So, how is this solution performing? Are we able to achieve what we set out to do? This is what we're going to be talking about today. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know me, my name is Tony Tio, and I'm the founder and CEO of Renewables in Africa, your clean energy champion, right? And if that's the first time you're joining our channel, let me just repeat again what I've said numerous times already. So our channel is make sure that we demystify the renewable energy sector for you. So it makes it easy and easier to connect with the sector. So if you are an investor and you're looking to pour some money into the sector, I'm looking forward to you doing it, but you probably want some few information. I'm going to be here giving that to you. But if you're a professional and you're looking to step into the sector, okay, you as well may be missing some information. I will be sharing that with you. But if you are a business looking to, let's say, go green and provide a clean energy solution to your company, you also may be missing some few more information. We're here to give you the information to you. And what we're asking you to do is to definitely connect with us when we're having live, just like we're having right now. We're asking you as well to leave a comment and to share the videos, because the more of you are connecting, the better it is for us all. Is that correct? Excellent. So now let's move on to the topic. I want to talk to you about pay as you go model, right? Pay as you go. 10 years down the line, what is the feedback? What's the feedback? So how are we progressing? That's what I want to talk to you. But before I go into that, I thought, yeah. Oh, by the way, feel free obviously to drop your comments and your questions, and I'd be more than happy to respond to that. I can see as well that Teddy has already an opinion on that, and he say PAYGO is a bubble. Whoa! Let me first of all discuss it, and then I can respond to your question. Is it okay? Excellent. So first of all, I think basically what I'm thinking is sometimes some people may not have an understanding what pay as you go model is, right? So I want to take just a couple of seconds to re-explain that. So essentially it came around about 10 years ago, more or less, right? Depending obviously what part of the globe you're sitting. But it was clearly around 2012, 2015. And at the time, so we had the Obama administration, President Barack Obama, who launched the Power Africa program. Okay, and actually, the pay-as-you-go model was actually taking inspiration from the microloan system that was actually invented, or at least put together by Mohammed Yunus in the 1980s. Yeah, and the whole idea of the pay-as-you-go model was to look at how can we make sure that people living in rural areas, people that don't have a lot of money, how can we make sure that we give them a path towards solar energy, towards energy independence. And most of the time, these people, what they will have, like I say, some strong concern because they didn't have the money to pay for the system upfront, even if it wasn't that expensive to some other people that maybe in the middle class. But still, it was expensive for them. So the idea of pay as you go solar was to see how they can leverage the utility bill and give them a path towards solar ownership, right? So that's what it was all about. So in simple term, basically you will have uh, one of a company, well, like I say, a salesman that will offer you to pay a small deposit for the system when you sign in a contract and pay a monthly installment in order for you to start enjoying the benefit of having the system installed on your roof and for you to get solar power, to get energy independence, right? That's what we were talking about. And just for you to understand, so how much it costs, so what kind of money are we talking about here? So obviously, there were many companies operating, and see many companies operating in the system, and the price will vary. But in nutshell, it will be between $200 to $500, right? So roughly that's what we're looking at. And in terms of the service that it gives, right, it will power some few lights to a lot more lights, plus a TV, plus a mobile phone, plus a fridge, right? So that's what we see. So essentially, you go through energy ladder, right? That's what the people that jump into that system will go into. They start with a smaller system, and after that, they start enjoying. They go for a slightly bigger system because you're getting let's say some pleasure of enjoying electricity power in your place. All of a sudden you look at your neighbor maybe has a TV, you also want to have a TV like him, and you start doing better in your life, you want to start doing more things. But clearly almost all of them wanted definitely to have light and mobile phone charging. That's what they wanted to have, right? And that's what system will give you. And in a nutshell, people will pay something like what, $8 to $15 a month. Again, like I said, it depends who is your provider and who you're talking with. And we talk. This is what we're talking about. What we're talking about. And if you do the math, right? So for these people in rural areas, so it would take them about 2 to 3 years to fully own the system. Bear in mind that a solar system, what is properly designed, you're looking at a decade, potentially a couple of decades for you to really enjoy that. So that's what the pay-as-you-go model was. So where did it operate? So a pay-as-you-go model is actually relatively widespread in Southeast Asia, but also in Africa, especially on the east side of Africa, right? Even if now it's now spreading into other part of the continent as well. But clearly, countries like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, DRC, that's what obviously it is very prominent, right? So as I say, all of you, I'm sure you would have heard of pay as you go model by now, and I'm sure you know probably one or two companies operate in this sector. So you have people like B-Box, yeah, you have people like D-Light, you have people like Zola that used to be called off-grid electric. So yeah, they are different. They are different partners, right? So, and as I say, all of you will know them. So the 10 year on, basically, what kind of lesson can we draw on from the start of pay as you go model, bearing in mind that those companies, when they were created, and they were supported by big investors, because they could see at that point a path towards electrifying, let's say, the 1 billion people, right, that sitting off grid. I don't have access to electricity. So 1.2 billion now, I think has come down a little bit. You could see a path. So when that model came in, obviously it was so innovative. People were so happy, so bullish. So a lot of people invest into that, including big investors, right? And clearly the idea here of those companies was to looking at profit, because they want charity, but carry profit, but also carry social impact as well. That's what it was. That's what it was. It was all about, and it's still the case, right? So now, sort of 10 years on, what could we say? What could we say, right? So essentially, for you to find out about the track records, or tracking the achievement of the sector, right? So there is an organization that you may or may not know. So for those of you who do not know, let me just share the site with you. So 1 second, I'll have a look for you. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. So Gogla. So you want to check Gogla. That is the, as they call themselves, the voice of the off-grid solar energy industry. So every year, what they do is to produce a report. In fact, I believe they produce two reports, one for each semester, something like that, where they giving you an idea what has been the progress. Right? You can see, for example, here what we have. It's from January to June 2020. Off-grid sales lighting decreased moderately by 4% compared to second half of 2020. Right. So every year they will produce those reports to allow you to track the progress. Right. And they will also work in issuing a global standard. They, for example, came up with something called Lighting Global. Right. This sort of established the best practices that company in the sector needs to needs to follow. Clearly supported by organization institution like the World Bank Group. And if you go there, so clearly can download the report, right? So pretty easy to find out. Just type Googler, yeah. Think of Google, you move one O, you add A at the end instead of E, and you have Googler. So that's where you have all the reports about off-grid solar, right? I wanted to share that with you. Yeah. So hopefully that's pretty clear. But now coming back right very quickly. So sort of 8 year on, or let's say 10 years on, almost right, almost. Yeah, don't take it from me if you're sort of a purist and you know that it's not exactly 10 years, but 8 year on, what we can say is actually so from the industry trade group, so we know that about between 25 million to 30 million now have access to energy via pay as you go model, right? 25 to 30 million, right? So if you look at that, we're looking at, if we take the 30 million, if we, let's say, optimistic, we say, hey, 30 million people, that's what we've had. So we can argue it's about 3 million per year that gain access, right? So using that model, where they're able to meet completely their full energy needs. So I doubt it, but at least let's imagine that 3 million people will have access. And as you know, for example, if we're talking about another 900 million people that won't have access to that won't have access to electricity. So you can work out, if you're only doing 3 million if you're doing only 3 million a year to get to 3 million a year of people that getting access to electricity, you can work out so how many more months, how many more years we're gonna take to get there. That's huge, right? So we're talking about 3 centuries here. So that's definitely not good enough. Yeah. So basically, so yeah. So no, sorry. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. So it's definitely not good enough. So it's still a long way off, right? But clearly we can see that at least 25, 30 million, it is not negligible either. So now we start wondering and asking ourselves the question. So why is that number it's so low? And really, this is where I wanted us to have the discussion, right? Because yes, as I always said, I'm a strong advocate for more renewables energy, and I definitely think we need to move into energy transitions, but I also think that we need to be looking at wide spectrum of solutions that are there, assess them, which one work, which one doesn't work, and adjust it, right? I'm one of those in the industry that thinking that okay, we should look at what has been put forward as a solution, right? Is there something that doesn't work as opposed to just completely in chuck it off the bin? No, you're looking at okay, what has been the record, what have been achieved, and how can we make it better? So how can we improve it, right? And then and that's what I want to do with the pay as you go model, right? And sector, and also because over the past few months I had a number of discussions, right, with very good and strong industry player, including as well people on the ground. Because like I say, for example, in the message I say on LinkedIn, so You know, you and I, we already have people that are either using the system or are interested in getting a system like that. Right? If you're thinking about them, we need to be, especially if you're part of the industry, if you're fortunate to be part of the industry, you need to be looking at what can we do to improve the situation so that it gets better. Yeah. So, and the reason, talking to many businesses, the reason the number is so low is on the way the business model is built, right? So clearly we're looking at profit, but also social impact there. And it looks like it's a little bit difficult. It's become difficult at times to reconcile the two, right? Because you can imagine here, because we want to make it so affordable, we want to make it affordable to people living in the rural area because they don't have a lot of disposable income. So we ended up having to design a business model, right? Having companies that operate with very low margin, right? Very low margin, and also because it's low margin, it means that you don't have a lot of let's say additional cash flow that can be helpful for your company when you go into trouble. And trouble, a lot of this company, even many of this company, are going through them. Why? Because it is also a very high default business, effectively, right? Because you are actually working, your customers, your end customers are people in rural areas, right? And all of us, we know that in life we go through tough time. All of us go through tough time. That's just the panacea of you. Everybody goes through tough time, and when you go through tough time, most of the time, at times, your income as well will drop a little bit. And actually, these end customer, because they're actually on the living on the edge of what they can afford. So when their income is dropping, maybe because they've been an episode of drought, so they've had some impact or challenges that was caused by a climate change event, right? So that clearly would affect them economically. So meaning that all of a sudden they find themselves not being able to meet the installment. They're having to choose: am I going to pay for my food, or am I going to pay for me to have power? And you imagine if you have a family, the choice is very quickly done, isn't it? Right. So that's why a lot of them are actually falling behind, and a lot of them are actually defaulting. And what is even scary, that's the thing, and I didn't realize it that much, but I was talking to one of the industry player. Obviously, I can't name him, obviously, but it's a very good friend of mine, and he was telling me that in the industry, well, you will have something between, it can go from 20 to sometimes even 40% default rate. That's huge. That's huge. Imagine running such a business, right? So that's why it's making it difficult. And because investors will know that, and also commercial lenders, they will know that the default rate is so high compared to other industry, and also we know that the margin are also very low. What is that they're doing? When they're investing, they want to recoup their money very, very quickly. Yeah. So they want to recoup money very quickly. So basically, they will be pushing those companies to be aggressive in acquiring as much customers as possible. It's become a little bit like an insurance business. Yeah, you're gonna have some default rates, so it become a numbers game. So the more customer I have, the more chances I have, obviously, to get more profit and to cover and to hedge myself against the challenges that I'm gonna get. And because obviously you want to get so much customer, you pushing your sales team, and sometimes you become a little bit laxist in terms of the due diligence, and it become like a sort of a vicious circle. So a lot of this company are ending up having to run the business at loss over many years. So what is that they're doing to keep on capitalizing themselves? They're raising more and more money. They're raising more and more money, promising investors and lenders that they're going to do better, or painting a nice picture, obviously using the situation of people in the rural area to sort of how can I say that? To connect emotionally with the investor, especially the social impact, right? To paint a nice picture of what they want to do. And to be honest, I think they believe in what they are saying, but sometimes the reality is a little bit different. And that's what we're seeing into the sector. And it becomes very, very, very difficult. It's a vicious circle. So if you're close to the sector, so you will know that many of these companies actually have had to file for bankruptcy, or maybe to have gone through some challenges, have been restructured or bought by others. So ultimately, what is that we see? We see that most of the time, when I say we, I'm talking about obviously me, renewables in Africa, and some other people. Invariably, we believe that there's going to be some consolidation at some point in time into the sector, where the bigger company with the more customers may be able to survive, and they will get to that critical mass that allow them obviously to sustain all those challenges that people that they are facing. Yeah, but also basically what we also calling upon, because we shouldn't be forgetting, if we're looking at an objective like SDG 7, which is that to provide reliable, affordable, and sustainable power to everybody by 2030. Obviously, it's not going to be achieved at 2030, let's be honest, right? But we believe it's still possible for 2040. So if we stand a chance to do that, we need to rethink the model. It's time to say, okay, the pay-as-you-go service purpose, electrified 25, 30 million. Hey, not bad. Yeah, we can do a lot better. How can we scale it up? How can we come up with a new model, right? And an idea of this new model, well, that's based on discussion. Again, I've had with some players in the industry. Also, what I've seen is to look at how can we create a compensation system that will support those companies that are brave enough to go and work into the sector, into side, just let's say this side of the population, which is not easy to tap into, right? So we're talking about last mile distribution, very difficult, because again, people have very limited incomes over there, limited money, right? So how can we support companies that are brave enough to go and serve these people? Because it's about service. Think about a no business model that can, I would say, value not only the renewable energy side, and also maybe value as well the environmental, right? Because the other thing is those people end up also being at the mercy of climate change consequences, right? And then we know that we all want to decarbonize the atmosphere. If you're looking at SDG 13, you compare that to SDG 7. So how can we merge how can we merge the two, right? So it's about thinking a new business model. Like I said, we won't just sort of value the renewable energy credit, but also value the environmental aspect of it, right? So that's something that people could be looking at. I'm sure some of you in the sector, you would have heard of an initiative called GREC, which is Decentralized Renewable Energy Certificate. Why? Because the renewable energy certificate, most of the time, it tends to be for grid only connected projects. So the GREC looking at how can we look at that for decentralized distributed, instead, not decentralized, distributed renewable energy project, because those ones tend to be sometimes difficult to track. So I'll stop here. Otherwise, I'm just going to go on and on for ages. I just wanted to say that very quickly. So in conclusion, what we can say that yes, pay as you go has made a massive difference. Like I said, 20, 30 million is not something that we should neglect. We should definitely embrace it, celebrate that, but it's time to go beyond. Why is it time to go beyond? Because what we notice actually is about those 25, 30 million users, people that tend to really benefit from pay as you go, we tend to be middle class homeowner, or small businesses, because they can afford to pay for the fees for this system. So if you're at the bottom of the pyramid, it may be a little bit difficult, because, like I say, invariably, like everybody, you will go through some challenges, and when those challenges come and you lose your income, so you end up having to fight to keep your system that you have on your roof, right? And you end up that if it was supposed to take you 2 years to pay for the system and then own it, you end up paying that for 7 years to 10 years, right? Or if not, completely losing access to the system, which is obviously monitored remotely, like all of them. So this is what I can say. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop here. So hopefully it gives you a little bit of an understanding of for what it is in the sector. And as I say, so if you're more interested, check out Googler. Yeah, that's where you have all the figures into the sector. So I also know that there is a conference coming soon in May, Sustainable Energy for Rural. I'm sure it's going to be talking a lot about off-grid system, so you can get as well some more information about that. As for us, we keep it on giving you more and more information if you enjoy it, and make sure that you keep on attending our live on Wednesday and on the Sunday, right? And I know a lot of you contacting me. They say, "Hey, Tony, I like what you're doing. That's great. What can we do?" Simple. Comment. Yeah, I have a lot of questions there. Comment, share the video, and then tell me what you think and reach out to me. And if some of you running businesses are looking to raise more awareness about their product, their services, and they want to find out more about our Renewables in Africa awareness program, hey, very simple. So what you have to do, yeah, make sure that you reach out to us. Yeah, I've just dropped the link here. So our awareness program. So and you reach out and we can talk about that further. So that's it for me. Let me just go through the question that I have seen, and we see there's some question we're gonna address that. Yeah, excellent. Oh, by the way, thank you. I can see there's a few comments today. That's great. So now we come back to Teddy. Teddy was saying, "Pay as you go is a bubble. It may have already begun to deflate." So uh, part of it's the bubble, yes, but we can't throw away everything. So as I said, so if you are middle class homeowner, a small business, you relatively is a term here, well off in society, it could be useful for you, right? So I wouldn't say that it's not useful at all. Yeah. So that's what we say. But it's fair to say that when it was set up, the idea was really to tap into the last mile distribution people, the bottom of the pyramid. And in that, yeah, I don't think it has been successful, at least not yet. So it has to be addressed. Okay, it's great. So, question. So, good day. So that's Ayobami. So, hey Ayobami, how are you? So, good day to you too. So, great to attend, and thank you for being here. We appreciate that, and also commenting. Hopefully, you're gonna share the video, right? So, I have Krishna. Hello, everyone. Hey, Krishna. Hey, hello, Krishna. How are you? So, yes, rapidly. Okay, probably reacting to one of my comments. That Titas. Okay, Titas. Okay. Seka Ferdinand. Do you have battery inside the component you offer? So, uh, renewables in Africa, we are a developer because the company, if you don't know, so we are a virtual media platform raising awareness about renewable energy in Africa and across the globe. And we're also a developer working more on the commercial and industrial sector. So providing right fully funded solar solution to businesses, right, who are looking to reduce the energy costs but also mitigate the challenge of power outages. So we don't directly sell batteries in a component, but in the system that we design, yes, we have battery that are included. So if there is anything you want to know or you have a project, again, reach out to us. So you can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, or you feel free as well to look at our awareness program. Yeah, good, Seka. But I love having you here. So another thing, Teddy again, an important insight on the achievement of pitfall. Okay, yeah, Teddy is sharing. It's sharing. Okay. Oh, by the way, I saw this article, Teddy. So yes, it's a brilliant article. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's a very, very good article. Yeah. So, yep. So as you can see, guys. So what is that? This is just me, Tony, sharing the link for the awareness program. Jump into that, guys. If you, like I say, want to promote a lot more and create a brand around what you're selling, so we may be happy. So, one thing as well, that's a Nuhu Abdul Malik. So, hi everyone. Hey Nuhu, how are you? Great to see you. And Ayobami again say great, excellent. So, more Ayobami. I have a design, a project I would like to share with you to know your thought. Okay, so what is the design the project about? So do let me know. Okay, if you send us the information as you mentioned, I'll make sure that I can then get my colleague to get that. If you're looking for my email address, so I can give it to you guys, but make sure that you send me things that whatever you're looking at, right? So uh I can't promise to jump into that ASAP. I can get one of my colleagues, my team members to look at that. And yeah, so what is the project about? So we're not that operational in the in off-grid market for you to know, but hey, I'm happy to look at what it is, and if there's any way we can help, we'll do so. So I've shared the link. Yeah. So let me just share something else. Teddy was saying the East Africa experience is an important lesson for the West Africa region. There are pitfalls to avoid. Absolutely. And that's how for me we should be looking at the sector, right? So I think because we usually very quick at sometime, including myself by the way, criticizing and say something is not good. Well, listen, it has achieved something that nothing else has done before, right? From that standpoint, we can't say that it has been a failure. Definitely not a failure. But like I said, there's let's say a section of the population that clearly benefited from that. Even that section, how can we make sure that we can do a lot more of them already, right? Because in the half a billion people that don't have access to it, especially for example in Africa, a number of them will be in that middle bracket, right? So how can we make sure that we can use pay as you go to rectify all of them if needed be? Because what we're saying here is for them it works because they have the money to pay, right? But now the bottom of the pyramid where we have most of the population, rural areas. So how can we improve, strengthen the model, and maybe come up with something else? This is what I'm saying. So that's why I'm suggesting a new model that takes into account financial aspect, but also environmental aspect, right? So that's something that clearly could be looked at. Yes, but what you say is great. So Ayobami said thanks greatly. I will. Okay, excellent. So is there any other questions? So if there's no other questions, we're just gonna call it a day. It's about half an hour we are together, which is great. It's about the time I usually dedicate to talk to you. Sometimes we're doing less, sometimes we're doing more. By the end of the day, connecting with you, it's what I really like to do, right? And then I have a discussion. So hopefully you like the topic of today. So hopefully you can suggest some more topic that we can look at. And hopefully as well you will connect not only on a Sunday but also on a Wednesday, because we want to make sure that we can give you a lot more insight on different things. And on a Wednesday, so we tend to be a little bit more specific, right? Talking about solar because that's the more mature technology. So we're not only going to talk about solar. Time we're going to be changing, but for the time being, we're exploring different facets of that of this industry, right? So you want to make sure that you watch it. So if you miss one of our videos, as I say, we are broadcasting today from 4 channels. We have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, and we have Twitter, right? Whichever way you're connecting with us, you can meet us there and then look at all the previous videos that we've done, right? And like it, share it, comment it, and give us your opinion. Give us your opinion. And we love having you with us. So I think I've gone through all the comments that I've seen. Those were great comments, great attendance. I love it. Bring more people, guys. The more the merrier, right? So yeah, so that's what I had to say regarding the pay-as-you-go model. So to respond to the question, is the pay-as-you-go model delivering sustainable power in rural areas? I responded right, depending what bracket we is. But if we're looking at the bottom of the pyramids, it's fair to say that it has not delivered, and we have to do a lot more. But there's definitely something that has to be acknowledged and celebrated from that model. Just when I was about to go, somebody else dropped a message, and this is Dozy. What is Dozy saying? Hello everyone, I'm Dozy from Lagos, Nigeria, founder of Quadloop, an electronic manufacturing company leveraging e-waste to build solar lantern. Excited to be here. Hey Dozy, great to have you here as well. So okay, that's interesting what you sent there. So Quadloop, I don't know about your company, and maybe some other people know. That's great, but what can I say? Yeah, if you definitely wanna take advantage of our awareness program, so as I say, you find the link there. So we could potentially help with broadcasting it a little bit more, right? Excellent. So, but thank you for joining, Dozy, and you are welcome into this channel, right? So, and I'm hoping that you're gonna connect not only on Sunday, but on Wednesday as well, 6 p.m. BST time. Okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen. So it was a pleasure for me connecting with you. As usual, I'm enjoying this time, right? I'm enjoying sharing some insight and then getting your opinion and having the discussion, this debate. And yeah, we're just gonna keep on doing more. So don't forget that we have many more channels where you can connect with us. We have newsletters that we have issued as well. That's on LinkedIn. Yeah, we also have our website, renewablesinafrica.com. We have all that different social media platform. So there's multiple avenue you can connect with us, right? So there's no excuse not to learn because ignorant is not a bliss. So, ladies and gentlemen, was a pleasure to talk to you this afternoon. As usual, I would say, may the sun be with you. Good fellow. I see you next Wednesday and Sunday. Take care, guys.